Today's video is brought to you by Squarespace. The DJI Mic 2 has a problem, but today we have the solution. If you have not seen the DJI Mic 2 yet, new case, whole new design, and 32-bit float recording internal. I'll link a couple of videos in the description that I've already made on this microphone. But if you are a Sony user, some Sony users, not all, including myself, some Sony users have been getting signal noise into their recordings. Basically, you've got the receiver mounted on top of your camera, plugged in via the 3.5mm jack so that you are beaming audio wirelessly from your transmitter to the receiver, and it is going into your camera. That is what your camera is recording. Some Sony users have been getting signal interference, which basically is like a buzz in the audio. You're picking up the wireless signal is interfering with the digital audio recording. But again, I have not been getting this. This is a quick comparison audio test of my internal recording versus my camera recording. Okay, here is an audio test of the DJI Mic 2 transmitter. This is the internal recording straight to the transmitter, so there should definitely be no digital noise at this point. And now here is the audio being transmitted to the receiver through a 3.5mm jack into my camera. Is there any audio difference? Do you hear any sort of buzz or signal interference? I don't hear it. I figured no one would have an issue because of this new cable with these giant elbow joints. I know that those are designed like that, like they're so big because they are trying to cut signal noise. Okay, so what is the solution? It is this little bad boy right here. This is just released from DJI, a flip-up bit that the receiver is gonna lock into, and then check out that little piece. A Sony multi-interface shoe that goes directly to your Sony camera. So now no more 3.5mm jack. All we do is slide off this little bit on the back, which is where you would normally put like the USB-C adapter or the lightning adapter. Now this thing just kind of slides right in there, and then that little cold shoe bit, it kind of locks into this little bowl. Like they've got a little bowl right there. This slides in and goes ka-dink, and now it is perfectly locked in there. I now have a DJI receiver that has a Sony multi-interface shoe on it. I can now pop that into my Sony camera, and no more cable. I don't have the piece that is most susceptible to picking up that signal noise. So this is now going to wirelessly send the signal from the receiver to this bad boy, and then that is going to go directly into my camera digitally, and there's no chance that I can get signal noise. And now here is a test with the DJI Mic 2 being transmitted to the receiver, but going through the digital hot shoe, the multi-interface shoe, the MI shoe on the Sony a7S III. There should be no signal noise at all now, again, because we've taken away that 3.5mm cable, and this is all digital. So digital signal to the receiver and being digitally transferred into my camera. There should be no digital noise now. Again, I really wasn't having this noise interference issue, but I will say, not having a cable on there, I like that. Now there are a couple little notes on this piece. It does work great. I'm actually pretty stoked on it, like whether you're getting noise or not. Like I would much prefer using this to connect to my camera rather than having to run that cable. So even though I'm not getting signal noise, I'm gonna use this piece all the time, with a couple of caveats. One being that if I'm in front of the camera, one of the nice things about the DJI Mic 2 is that this thing can mount forward, and I can now have my screen on the front of my camera. So if I'm in front of my camera, I can look up, I can see my audio settings, I can see if I'm recording or not, I can see my levels. Everything is nice like that. So front or backwards with this thing, but if you're in this piece here, this is locked in place, it can only go in one way now. So now the audio levels and everything are now on the back of the camera. So of note, you do lose the ability to have the screen in the front if you are running this little piece. The other little bit about this is that when this is hooked in, you are powering the receiver now through the camera. So the camera will send power up to this receiver. So even if it's low battery, plug it into your camera and your camera will charge it back up. The bummer, and I hope maybe it's a firmware upgrade, but I can't auto power on and off my receiver receiver. It would be really nice if when I turn my camera on, the receiver came on, and when I turn the camera off, the receiver turned off. I can't do that right now, so when I turn my camera off, I also have to turn my receiver off, and then when I turn my camera on, I also have to then turn the receiver on. Other than that though, guys, this is it. This also doesn't fit into the case, but nothing fits in this DJI case that I wish it did. Get the transmitter and the receiver back in here. I already can't fit my wind muffs in here, which by the way, like DJI Mic 3, this is my biggest request, is I want to keep my little fuzzy wind muffs on, and I want this to be able to close. And now it would be nice if there was another slot where I could stuff this in somewhere and all of this would close together. This is like a full set. This is everything that I would need with my Sony camera, because I don't need this anymore, and I don't use anything else. This is all I need, but I do want the lid to close with all that in there. Link in description for you to pick one up. Hey, a big thank you today to Squarespace for sponsoring today's video. If you like videos like this, you like these kind of like smaller, shorter, easier to digest videos, Squarespace makes that possible for me. And they also make the best software out there for building your website. I am completely redesigning my website right now through Squarespace, and the process is just so dang simple. Their new Fluid Engine design system, along with a professional design template. And I started from there. I just popped my info in, I swapped in my photos, my products, this hoodie being one of them that's gonna launch soon on the new website. And I will soon be selling digital products, presets, LUTs, courses. I'm gonna do all sorts of things with this new Squarespace website. Shoot to the first thing in the description, go over to squarespace.com, get started with a totally free trial. Go in there, completely free, build out your website, and when you're ready to go live, use code David Manning for 10% off at checkout. Again, thank you Squarespace, and thank you DJI for fixing the Mic 2 for people that were having problems, and for me, I like this. Like, I like this better than the 3.5mm cable. I do wish I could flip it both ways. That would be nice if it like twisted somehow, but all right, I'll see you soon. Ooh, does this work with the Mic 1? I know someone's gonna ask. Oh, the slots are different. It does not work with the DJI Mic 1.